So plants do so many things. I mean, mood, the color green is just great for us. Everybody's been going out on walks. People are starting these running routines because we all want to get outside and do something. So being out in the color green is something to really think about, as far as if you're choosing where to take a walk. In the forest is probably a really good place, or a park, because there's a lot of research on that being an antidepressant. So, hey, might as well get a little boost from the plants. And right now, it'd be really great to start getting some of the herbs around. So I have a bunch of them in the background here. Okay, we have mint in the background. So our local nursery was doing you could pick up the plants. You order online and they bring them out to you. Do you have that going, Hill?
I don't know. I can't
Oh.
say. I've been having plants brought to me by
other people are ordering them in for you.
By my boyfriend. Yeah, so he's been bringing roses and herbs, and we just planted tomatoes and planted some things.
So these are good practices, especially when you're trying to get pregnant, because it's about growth. It's about this sort of energy of like, let's get everything set and tend to something and take care of something. And so it's like a really good practice to have. And they smell great. The mint here we're just using pieces of it in our cooking and such. And it just is such a nice plant to have around. And then another one.
Your table looks incredible.
We have so many. So we have like the parsley and stuff. So I'm just
bring them over.
I'm pulling over some of them. Okay. Another thing, arugula. This is on our superfoods list for Cultivate Fertility under greens, because the greens help us detox our hormones and balance out the estrogen, progesterone. A lot of people don't eat enough green leafy vegetables, and arugula is a really good one to constantly pick pieces and put them in other things. Some people don't like it because it's kind of bitter. At first, there can be a little bit of a pepperiness to it, but it's really high in calcium. So I think arugula might be one of our healthiest greens.
And the bitter taste helps the liver, right? So helps the liver, stimulates bile acid and digestion. So it's really a strong digestive. Anyway.
This is lavender, which really likes a dry, well-drained soil. Lavender is closely related to rosemary, and it smells really good and is really relaxing. And so we often tell people to put some lavender, and you can just take some of the leaf, or when the purple flowers come, you can put it in your bath with your magnesium salts. And that's something we often recommend to people right before bed, right? So lavender's an anti-anxiety medication. And it's just such an easy one to grow. I mean, you really can't kill this plant unless you overwater it and put it in like dense compost soil, but more of a sandy soil. That's the way to go. Honestly, this is an easy one to grow. So I was recommending lavender essential oil to someone even today, just on their pillow, because that's something we tell people to do. Like if you're having problems sleeping or super stressed, just put a little lavender oil on your pillow, and that helps you go to sleep.
So we want to just come up with ways to help this community be in this shelter in place in a way that it feels better, and in a way that kind of helps to raise your energy and your mood. So many people are gripping with working from home, being online all day, not having hugs, social connection. Not even to mention any kind of financial or job stress that people are going through, and just uncertain futures, not being able to travel, blah, blah, blah. So we all are trying to come up with ways in which to cope better. And the thing that we know about fertility is dealing with fertility issues or having stress around getting pregnant. It's like dealing with a chronic illness. It already creates a significant amount of stress in your body. And that stress in your body can have a negative effect on your end goal, because we know the people who tend to get pregnant are the ones that aren't even thinking about it. It's a very easy process. It's one of those tragic oxymorons, but it's like where it just kind of happens. And when you're going from month to month and thinking about it and working on it or involved in treatments, it just creates more tension and tightness, which can then put tension and tightness in the reproductive organs and cause strain and stress. So what we want to do is just to help you to find ways, like lovely ways, like Kara's table that she created, just bringing the herbs into your house, making green magic, having plants to pull from when you're cooking, just to help elevate your mood. We're looking for ways that we can just strategize to bring your vibration up. And for me, and this is, I love to talk about happiness and the research on happiness, which is about that we get to actually, there's practices that we can engage in that raises our happiness. And our happiness defined as feeling at ease, feeling a sense of optimism, feeling a sense of like goodness and joy, and feeling comfortable in their body. And so there's different practices. So I've been asking my patients during this time on telemedicine, like, especially the extroverts, those of us, myself included, that are used to like touching people and talking to people or just being around people, it can feel really isolated. So I've been asking my patients to come up with a list like this, which is kind of making a list of the things that make you happy and the things that make you less happy. So the things that make me less happy are, one, reading a lot of overreading news or having conversations with people that cause me fear or stress. So some of my loved ones, I have to kind of set boundaries around what we talk about because some of it doesn't make me feel good. And I'm just trying to like keep the vibration in my household high. I have 3 kids, I have a dog, I have a business partner that I love, I have patients that I'm attending to. And so how can I just keep my energy really high? I've decided I'm a person who used to love going to the store every day, like shopping every day for what I pick up and go and cook. And going to the store right now is not as fun for me because it's kind of more of a stressful event. So I'm limiting that to like once a week, kind of gearing up for it. And instead, organizing ahead of time, going less. And instead I want to spend more time like listening to music. These are the things that make me happy. Oh, and on here I have overeating or stress eating. So I have this on my refrigerator because sometimes I'm opening up my refrigerator when I'm just bored and not at all hungry, or like I just want chocolate, or I'm wanting something, wanting. I find like we're wanting stuff, but really what I want is social connection. And so me leaving quarantine, not able to fit my pants is not going to be helpful. So I have a little note on my thing like, okay, then, oh no, actually what you really need to make you happy is state something you're grateful for, dance, go listen to music, laugh. So it seems so sort of like an elementary school project, but what it is it's just a reminder we're humans. And so sometimes it's easy to go down the darker path. And it's just a reminder of like, oh, wait, that's not going to make me happy. How can I just raise my core vibration? Because what we know is when we are operating at a happier place. So when we both studied Chinese medicine, so it's a lot about energy and energy fields. When the energy is strong, when the qi is high, when somebody's vibrating at a very strong energy field, things are working biochemically much faster. Hormones are working better. People who are depressed have less neurotransmitters, have less hormones, who have less of an easy time getting pregnant. So we're trying to really pull you into a happy space. So it's a matter of, Kara has a lot of plants. I like plants, but I like rocks. So I have crystals and rocks around to make me happy, or music.
That list works. I told you that Hillary, you were talking about this on one of these webinars, and then I happened to talk to one of my patients the next day, and she said she started the list. So it sounds silly, but these things make a big difference in people's lives, and a daily check-in on a list like that can really help you prioritize what's important. And I think that's sort of the blessing of this whole quarantine time, is that people now can slow down and think about what's important. And so what's really nice is that a lot of people have decided their health is important. So then they're trying to eat well and exercise and all the things we know that actually need to be done on a daily basis. So it's kind it can be okay in a way because you can really work on the things that help you so much. So should we go into nourish?
Yeah, you want to cook, you mean?
Yeah. So nourish is food as your most potent medicine is sort of the idea around it. So I was going to make something that's really easy. And in my house, everybody loves this as a meal. So we kind of make smoothies and we make smoothie bowls, but this is going to be a hormone balancing one, which my kids don't need as much as our clients need. So I was going to base it off of matcha, and matcha is green tea. And although green tea does have some caffeine, and so if you're caffeine sensitive, you would not want to have matcha in your smoothie bowl. It's really good for the liver, and it's filled with antioxidants, and it actually can work on this hormone balance thing that we're always striving for. So matcha is an important part of our antioxidant rich diet that we try and promote. And so I really like it, but I always try and warn people about the caffeine aspect of it. And matcha is the same plant. It's the same exact tea plant as oolong tea and white tea and black tea. So that's always sort of interesting, I think, to think about. So everybody says like, oh, matcha has more caffeine than black tea. Well, that's because it's just sort of harvested at a different time and processed at a different time. So black tea is the most oxidized, so it's black. And then it's oolong tea, and then green tea, and then white tea. So they're all the same plant. We're just processing it differently. So you're getting the same awesome antioxidants. We just always talk about green tea because there's a lot of research on it. But tea in general is very good for you. So I'm going to start with the matcha in the, let's see if I can adjust this properly. I was thinking I had it. Okay.
That's good.
Something like that. Okay. So this is the very old Vitamix that is from when I was age 19. I
know Sarah and I have both. We both have. I got one from college graduation, and she's had hers since she was 19. Those Vitamixes last forever.
I know. So I always want the shorter one that fits under the cabinets because this one's really tall. But I mean, it still works so well. I just feel like it's wasteful. So I haven't replaced mine yet. So anyway, this thing, it is really well made because this is some hemp milk going in. Because it lasts, I mean, it's just as strong. The motor's fantastic. So I don't know. I just haven't replaced it. Okay, so that should be about enough for one bowl. So that's just some hemp milk. I also have some coconut milk because people sometimes don't find it all sweet enough, this recipe. So if you find the hemp not sweet enough, you can always use some coconut milk, but I find it a little heavy. And since I'm home, and I'm going to be the one having this, I'm going to just use the hemp because I prefer that. So I'm going to use a half teaspoon of the matcha and not overfill it. I'm going to really measure out a half teaspoon. So it's nice and green. Look at that. And it smells strong. It smells like super concentrated grass. So that might not be so appealing, but it's going to be awesome with the rest of the ingredients in it. Okay, and then I'm going to put raspberries because raspberries have specific. My entire freezer is filled with berries. This is crazy because we're all making smoothies all the time, but raspberries are really specific to women's health. So if you're going to pick a berry, raspberry, strawberry, blueberry, any of them are good for you. But if you're doing hormone balancing, I always really like raspberries. They're just a long herbal tradition of using them. So that's why
I can say that berries are definitely one of the Cultivate Fertility superfoods. They help with our nourishing is just bringing a lot of micronutrients and bioflavonoids and antioxidants, and they also help circulate. So they help circulation is one of our core principles, and berries and the different bioflavonoids are really helpful for vessels, bringing blood flow and circulation to your reproductive organs. So go ahead, sorry. Oh, she's blending. She might have put the blender on pause, on mute, because we can't hear her. Okay, she did. So they did. That was very impressive. Blending on mute. Very generous.
Yeah, I learned that one after somebody interrupted me completely on the video. Okay, So I'm pouring just in a bowl, and I'm going to show you this in a second.
Wait, so all that is the hemp milk, the matcha, and the raspberries?
Yeah, and blueberries.
And blueberries, okay.
Here's the bowl. So Hillary was talking about how berries are just so good for you. They're good for blood circulation, everything. So I'm going to add a few more blueberries on top. I have some cherries here. And I find it impossible to find dried cherries organic. What about you? It's just where I live, I really can't find them. So these are not organic cherries, but I'm making that exception because I love them, and they're actually sweetened a little bit with, they say apple juice. Anyway, they're super yummy. So I'm gonna put a bunch of those because I like that sweetness in there. I'm gonna put a little bit of just some sunflower butter in here because it's another really good fat, and this really helps. It helps kind of make you full while you're eating it too. So just a little bit of that. Hold on.
So we also love nuts and seeds at Cultivate Fertility because those good fats, well, one, what they help do is it helps balance the different sugars that she's adding. It helps the fat balances the sugar so that it's a slower sugar release. It doesn't have a very high glycemic effect. It just balances the blood sugar to make, one, your hunger go away for longer, and two, it has less kind of an effect on the cells. We want to really balance blood sugar during fertility work and pregnancy and nursing, the whole thing, really life. We need to really balance our blood sugar. So adding those higher fat seeds to the fruit really makes a difference for that.
Yeah, and this is, you know, a full meal for somebody. So it's not a very big bowl, and it has, you know, a really heavy kind of sunflower butter in there and a lot of nuts and seeds. So it's going to be really filling. I have dried strawberries that I like to do too, that they're just super yummy. And they add a really nice smell to the whole thing. So we have some pecans, pepitos. I have some walnuts too. I'm going to add in some walnuts.
Those are cashews.
Sorry, those are cashews.
Oh, it's late where you are.
It's late. A bunch of sunflower seeds that are actually sesames. And then I'm going to do a really strange thing where I'm going to roll up a basil leaf and go over. Yeah, this is like kind of what you have on hand can work on the top. And then we have a seed mix that we do. So I like these kind of striped. And if you take your time doing this, it makes it a lot better. You just it's odd. Basil's really good for you, and people do not put it in enough things. And it gives you an odd, sort of nice green taste on the top of this smoothie bowl. So it has so many trace minerals in it, as far as like calcium, magnesium, selenium. We have everything in here. And so if you eat this, you'll feel not as heavy as a traditional meal. So sometimes we even do this for a dinner. And
Kara,
that's it.
Can you put your camera so that we can see your face now?
Yeah, I'm coming up.
Oh, give me a hi.
Hi.
So thank you. I've made smoothies for my whole life. I mean, I feel like, and I didn't make it into a smoothie bowl until I was at Kara's house when her kids were all making smoothie bowls. I was like, this is the most genius thing ever. But it's a great way to add so many nutrients into one lovely, gorgeous bowl that really harmonizes and balances hormones.
And it makes a great buffet. So if you have people over, you can just put out all the toppings. It's sort of like your Sunday, make your own Sunday bar or whatever. And it's awesome because the kids come up with really interesting mixes that you wouldn't have thought of, but they eat something healthy because they have nothing else to put on there.
So as far as for relaxation and raising your core energy, and we talked about plants in the house. I love your take. I'm already like, I need to have more green plants in my house now. And I loved that you talked about going outside. I just wanted to say something that I've been doing a lot is being outside and putting my bare feet into the dirt. I live in California, so it's not hot, but it's not cold yet, or it's not cold, but grounding and just kind of like being next to trees is something that is very calming. And so in times like this where and it's so funny, like they used to call people tree huggers and hippies. And the truth is that there's a lot of interesting research that shows that if you're connected, if you're grounded, your feet are grounded in the ground, and you connect to trees, that it's one of the most calming things that you can do for your nervous system. And I loved what Kara said about the energy of being around plants, things that are growing, things that have life. The same is true for dirt and trees, like being around something that's steady and of the earth. It can really help kind of calm down your nervous system and give you a sense of real optimism and happiness.
That was a big strategy for one of my babies, was crying, 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 and you would just go outside and he would stop. It was really interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's like being out with the trees or something. All of a sudden, it was over.
I think that one of the big takeaways from this sheltering in place is the recognition that like outside is the thing that we sort of get right now, and outside is really saving people. And I think there will be a recognition of the importance of being outside and connecting with nature, I hope. I think today we were talking about what we really want our patients and our clients to be taking away from this time, from this pause. And we were saying the thing that we feel so extremely passionate about is detoxification and in improving, taking advantage of, making things better for your body, especially for our fertility patients, to help them get ready for when things are a go, that they're in a much better space. There hasn't been a time like this in history where we're sort of around with not very many things on our social calendars, not very much traveling, not restaurant eating, not a lot of gatherings. And so now is a perfect opportunity to do a detox. And we both believe so strongly in detoxification. We've seen it work with ourselves. We've seen it work for many, many, many patients, that if we reduce the total toxic burden of our patients, that their body can really heal itself and get ready for what it needs to do next, and especially for pregnancy. So we created this 30-day detox that we're so excited about. We spent hours and hours and hours and hours creating videos and handouts and content to lead our clients at Cultivate Fertility through what we give our patients.
And it was really interesting we were at that conference a long time ago now, where they were talking about, it really is about health, right? So having a diagnosis of infertility and struggling with fertility issues, which actually more and more people have now, it's so unbelievably common. It actually is an indicator for sort of chronic disease later on. So it seems like our approach is really just to like do everything you can to be totally healthy. And that's really applicable to every kind of issue people are having. So I think that's the best thing about that particular thing with the detox, and not just like another really specific course or protocol we have. So I think that's the best time, as far as now, it's getting everything in order so that hopefully later in a few months that everyth's all ready to go.
And I've been leading several groups through detoxes through the shelter in place, and people have really said that just cleaning up their diet and not kind of going for the easy things, but focusing on really nourishing foods, using food as medicine, trying to cut away caffeine, cut away sugar, cut away some of the alcohol, which are all things that we really encourage for our Cultivate Fertility clients anyway and our patients, that doing it now it's just sort of a perfect time. It's less of a hardship and more of a gift, where sometimes it's hard to fit all these changes in, but right now it's sort of a perfect opportunity. So we just want you to know that we're offering our detox. We're launching our first detox with Cultivate Fertility with clients other than our patients. So we're really excited to kind of have a bigger audience and offer it to more people that don't get to come to us as patients. And it's a digital course that you receive with a gorgeous detox booklet that we're just finishing tomorrow morning. And it's so beautiful. And tons of video courses that lead you through exactly the 6 core principles that Cultivate Fertility for detoxification and for just our fertility patients, how to prevent chemicals that are harmful in your home and body products, how to increase cellular hydration, so crucial for detoxification and fertility, nourish, just using food as medicine, making gorgeous meals, loving your food, but having it all be really nutrient dense and really count. Protect. Dr. Kara and I formulated an incredible formula for combination of products to help support through the detox, nutritional supplement, dietary supplements, not necessary, but an incredible add-on. Circulate. Sorry, go ahead.
Just soothe.
Yeah.
That's one of the important things.
Is really helping to create rituals of self-care. And that is the thing that my patients during the shelter-in-place detoxes really said, was that it's the rituals of self-care that brought their nervous system into balance. So
that food module is what people talk about. You almost expect some of the other parts of it, but that's the one that sort of comes back as like, wow, I didn't know how good that could feel. So that's a really important one.
The soothing rituals of self-care.
Soothe your
And
nervous
what do we know about fertility, pregnancy? We know that being happy, having a strong energy, your core vibration is good. These things are as important as kind of the food we eat, the supplements we take. So anyway, we really hope that you join us. We're launching this detox on May 11th. I think, did you set up a code?
Yeah, they have a discount. So people who go to these webinars get a discount. So it's kind of nice.
And yeah, if you've kind of sat with us for an hour, we want to give you a discount. And our first group on May 11th, because it's our first group that we're opening, it's a very special thing where we're trying to keep people, Kara and I want to work with the people in the group and offer our own kind of coaching during the 30-day process, which is, we won't be able to offer to many clients in the future, but this is kind of the perfect time for us. So anyway, we really hope that you hang out with us in our community, follow us on social media, our Cultivate Fertility Instagram. I don't make the pictures, but we have a friend that is incredible, and she's created art on our page and getting our message across. So love for you to join our community and follow us and watch us. We've got videos on YouTube, cooking more recipes, and we really hope you join us for our pre-pregnancy 30-day detox starting on the 11th.
Thanks, Dr. Hillary. You are amazing.
Bye, Kara. I love you and your plants. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.
Good night. Take it nice and easy tonight on yourselves. You can sign up at cultivatefertility.com. Somebody just asked, where do we sign up? You go to cultivatefertility.com. And if you look on the courses page, you can click on the 30-day detox and sign up there. So hope to see you all really soon on our next webinar. We'll be doing this Tuesdays and Thursdays for a bit, so please join us. All the best.